Hello guys, my name is Kane, and today I'm going to be giving you a book review on Who Was Sally Ride. Alright, so Sally Ride and her friends, when she was in Standford University, Sally and her friends were known for being calm and very nice, and that will be more important later in the book review. So when Sally was taking a walk down the road, she saw this newspaper that had been recently released. And basically she picked it up and read it, and well, it said that NASA is hiring and they're encouraging women because there were only 7 people on the NASA team back then, and they were all boys. So Sally had been waiting for this moment all her life. She loved astronomy, she loved science, and she thought this job would be perfect for Sally. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Even though Sally really wanted to study, this job was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So more than 8,000 people signed up trying to get the job from NASA, but the first interview, so NASA interviewed all 8,000 people, roughly 8,000, and well, only 208 of them, to be precise, completed the first interview, and well, like 7,800 people just lost their lifetime dreams. So NASA decided not to hurt anyone or any more feelings, and they decided just to take the 208 people because that was just a gigantic upgrade to their whole team. And surprisingly, only 4 of them were women. And NASA's like, what? I thought like a huge margin of them would be women, but no, and Sally was one of them. And Sally and her other 3 women, they met each other in the whole gigantic station, and they just became besties. And also in Standford University, there's this girl named Tam, and she was the same level as Sally in everything, and that will be more important because at the end, well, I'm not gonna spoil it right now, but later. So Sally had to train hard, kind of like boot camp. They had a monster truck dragging all 4 of them through an icy pond, which was really shallow. So if they didn't know how to swim, they wouldn't fall and drown. So just this training was specialized for if the space shuttle crashed in the ocean, they would not know how to panic. And see, one of Sally's character traits, being calm, was very important to be an astronaut because sometimes stuff can go wrong in space, and well, Sally would just kind of ignore all the consequences and just do step by step, and that usually got her out a bunch of problems. So when training was over, Sally was kind of tired, but then she got ready to get on her first space shuttle. So she was just gonna be orbiting Earth, and basically, well, Sally was really excited, but the first minute and a half was really just like, it's kind of hard because you're being pinned against the chair and you can't move, just like sleep paralysis. So then the next 7 minutes going into space, it was actually kind of calm, and now when they were in space, they just jumped all around like 5-year-old and toddlers. So Sally was in space for 6 months, no, not 6 months, 6 days with her friends, and they just jumped around, and most of the tests were just like, can I build a Lego set in space? And they just experimented with a lot of stuff. In their free time, they just talked and jumped all around the place. So then after the 6 days, they were kind of sad, but they also had to exercise for 3 hours a day. That's just the bare minimum of how long you have to exercise, because for 6 days, not even using barely any of your muscles, it shrinks fast. So you need to gain up all your, like, just the average muscle size of an average human being. So then the second launch was in a few months, and Sally was really feeling good. But this time there were actually some problems, like an antenna on top of the space shuttle not being straight, or like some wires just like disconnected, and they had to go investigate that. But Sally must have been a technician or something like that because she could fix everything. So, and then Sally, well, she just lived a regular life again, still working for NASA. She was kind of really popular in the name of NASA, and she got into the Hall of Fame. Not the actual Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame just specialized for NASA workers and the crew. So really, here comes like the kind of climax of the story. So Sally hadn't been informed of this like kind of secret mission, and all of her close besties were on that secret mission to go hang out in the space shuttle and do some very important super secret stuff. But then as they were launching the space shuttle, kaboom. And all of her friends, it was just a really tragic moment in history. So then Sally went through a kind of small margin of her life having to deal with depression. But then she went back to Standford University as a science professor. And the reason why she chose science, well, for two reasons. One, because it was her favorite and best subject, and two, she wanted to she was like kind of a mechanical scientist, so she wanted to build space shuttles to help so any other of her close friends wouldn't get killed in that space shuttle. But during the progress of trying to help everybody at NASA, she died in 2012. So that's the tragic story, yet having a happy ending of who was Sally Ride. So
let me ask you real quick, that explosion, that space shuttle that exploded, in the book did it mention what the name of that shuttle was?
No, it didn't really mention it. It just mentioned that Sally's friends were on it, and it just kind of exploded.
So why that's important, I believe it happened in 1986. It was the Challenger space explosion. And your daddy was a little boy when that went off, and the school announced, hey, the Challenger shuttle had exploded. All 7 astronauts had died. And it was going to be the start. There was a school teacher on there. I believe her name was Krista McCullough, if I remember correctly. And she was going to spearhead an entire astronomy program for all elementary children throughout the U.S. had the mission been successful. It was going to be the start of a space program for all children studying throughout the U.S. But that's it. That's what I remember. Now I could be off on it, but that's what I remember. And so, it does impact everybody because of that explosion.
Yeah, so. It was kind of tragic.
Very tragic.
Yeah. Well, I never heard of that, but I hope you guys like my book review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.